Greetings, everyone, and welcome to the Mandela Effect. This is going to be a response video. I made a video the other night, and I tried to make it clear that I was not talking about time travel, because in reality, time does not exist. There are only moments. And yes, I completely understand, since we did use that word, why you would get tripped up on the word time travel. So I'm making a video since people want to know a little bit more about time. So I will do my very best to explain what time truly is, and I will give some examples. And hopefully this helps. So basically, we're looking at a mountain here, and pretend for a moment you're in an airplane and you're flying over the mountain range, and you can see everything at once. I'm not an artist. You may have seen my drawings, but that's drafting, and being an artist is completely different than drafting, so excuse my rudimentary drawings. I'm just trying to make a point here. So let's say you're in an airplane, and you're up in the airplane, and you look down and you can see the whole scenery at once. You can see the mountain, you can see the hiker coming down from the mountain. You know, he's going to go past the pond, he's going to go through the forest, and then he's going to run into some bears. And then his final destination is a cabin where there's a nice warm fire waiting for him. If you know about bears, if the wind is blowing downwind, Mother Bear is going to catch a whiff of the human being, and he's going to protect his cub, and this human being's toast. But if the wind's going this way, then everything will be fine. But because you're in an airplane, you know the wind is blowing this way, and the hiker will be safe because he'll make a bunch of noise, and the bear will run away with his cub and not have to defend it. But if the wind was blowing this way, you would know he's toast, because the human, if he doesn't make enough noise, will sneak up on the bear, and to protect the cub, the bear is going to rip apart the human being. So, since you're in the airplane, you can look down, you can see everything at once, you know which way the wind's blowing. You know that the hiker is going to come down the mountain, and he's going to go across the pond, he's going to go through the forest, he's going to make some noise, and the bears are going to run off, and the hiker is going to go safely to his cabin and start a nice warm fire, and everything will be wonderful for him. Being up in the airplane, you can see all this at once. But as the hiker on the ground, to him, time is happening moment by moment. He's going to come down the mountain, he's going to go through the pond, he can't see, the bears, he can't see the forest, and he has to go through it moment by moment, go across the pond, go through the forest, bears run away, and he gets to his cabin safely. So time is kind of like this. When you are in the higher dimensions, the higher realities, you can see everything at once, and you can predict what's going to happen. But when you're on the ground as a human being in the lower realms, the height, width, depth, and time, he simply has to go through it moment by moment by moment. He can't see what's up ahead. So this is how one example is how time is. On the ground, in this reality, you go through moment by moment by moment, you don't know what's up ahead. But in the higher dimensions, in the higher realms, you're in an airplane and you can see everything all at once. So hopefully that makes a little bit of sense. Let's give another example. Time, our reality, is on this plane of existence. And this is all you know. But when you're in the higher dimensions, the higher realities, you have the ability to lift up off of this plane of existence that is bound by space, time, with height, width, depth, and time. And you can go up. Oh, wait. I missed something. So, time for human beings is like a movie reel. The film is a bunch of picture after picture after picture after picture after picture, but in reality, it's all done. It's all here, all at once. And this is how the higher dimensions see it. They see the time like and the events like a movie reel, and it's all there all at once. But human beings, they have to take the reel, they have to put it on a projector, and they run it through the projector, and they see it as a sequence of events, one clip after another, and they see the film as a sequence of events. They think one event is happening after the other, after the other, after the other. But in the higher dimensions, in reality, time is like a movie reel, and you see everything at once. And if you can see everything at once, then time is like this movie reel. You can lift up off the movie reel or lift off this plane of existence, this reality. You can simply lift off it, move over here, and pop down here and view this. Kind of like the movie reel, time is already happening. It's a moment that always exists. In other words, there is no past and there's no future. There's only the present. And the present is everything that's happening all at once. Let me give you an example. Choose chocolate or vanilla. Think for a moment and say it out loud. Chocolate or vanilla? Some of you may be thinking ice cream, chocolate bars, I don't know, whatever you thought of. Some of you may have said vanilla. Some of you may have said chocolate. Some of you may have said raspberry. Maybe some of you said, I don't know, I choose no. I choose nothing. I made no choice. The point is, when I ask the question, do you choose chocolate or vanilla? You went from what you think is the present into the past. And you based your decision on something that happened to you in a past event. And you know that from the past that you either like chocolate or vanilla. So every time you make a decision, you think you're making a decision in the present, but what you're really doing is you're going up here and you're going to the past and you're basing your decision on the past. Therefore, in reality, there is no such thing as the present because you don't know how to live in it. You're constantly going to the past, and you're basing all your decisions, everything you think about, everything you know, you're constantly going to the past, and you're basing your decisions all in the past. And as long as you're basing all your decisions on the past, there is no present. And the same thing if you're thinking about the future. Well, the future's over here. So the key is to try to live in the present. Try not to go to the past, try not to go to the future. There's only the present, this present moment. And we need to learn how to live in the present. So going back to the movie reel, I'm sorry if I sidetrack and digress. I may have lost you, I apologize. So basically, if you're a high dimensional being, and let's say this is your film strip, and as a human being, you're running through the projector and you're seeing moment after moment after moment after moment. But if it's a movie reel, you have the ability, the higher dimensional beings in the higher realms, the higher dimensions, you have the ability to lift up off the movie reel, and then you can go here, or you can go here, and you can go anywhere you want at any moment in time. But there's no such thing as time, because everything exists all at once. All these events have already happened. There is no past, there is no future, there's only the present. There is only the now, the right here. There's only the now right here, and if you go to the past, well then there's the now right here, which is the past. There's only moments in time, there's the now. So, apologize, I probably lost you again. As you know, I don't write my videos, everything's impromptu. So I kind of wing it, as you say. Let's try this one more time. So you are on this existence of reality, and the higher dimensions have the ability to lift up off this, let's call it a sheet of paper. They can lift up off the sheet of paper, move over here, and go over here. And this is what human beings call time travel, but it's not time travel at all, because there is no such thing as time. You're simply lifting off this moment and you're going to this moment, which everything all exists all at once. Wow, I was hoping that'd go a lot better. But anyway. And then once you understand that concept, if you did, hopefully you understand the bear, time, see everything at once, human on the ground, one moment after the other. Life is like oh great. Life is like a movie reel. Everything's already happened. And you can lift up off the sheet of paper, up off the movie reel, and go to any moment you want. So this is what you think of as time travel, but it's not. And then once you understand that concept, then it gets really complicated. Because then you have all these dimensions. This is your reality, height, wealth, death, and time. But then you have these higher dimensions, 6th dimension, 7th, 8th, 9th. And from here you can simply lift off of this reality, and then you can experience this reality at a higher dimensional plane, and you can see everything that's going on down here. Or you can lift off this reality, this sheet of paper, this movie reel, you can go over here to this reality, and you can see everything that's happening at once, and etc., etc. So in reality, you have this reality, this reality, this reality, that reality, that reality, and all the realities are all happening at once. All reality exists. It simply exists. There's only one moment, and it's just a moment. There's a moment here, moment here, moment here. They're just moments. And they all exist all at the same time. But when you're down here in this reality, and you're living on this little sheet of paper, this movie reel, and you think events are happening one at a time, but they're not. And it just completely perplexes you when you can lift up off this reality and go here. And human beings have the ability, and you've done this, where momentarily you lift up and then you experience this reality and go, what the hell happened? And you go here, oh, what happened? What happened? What happened? But you always end up back in your reality. It's very difficult to explain something that happens in your reality because you're not in this reality or that one or that one, that one. It's a very difficult concept to understand. When you escape the boundaries of space, time, space, height, width, depth, and time, and you go to these other realities where they simply do not exist, and you can see things, it's called, this kind of looks like a box, doesn't it? When you go outside the box and you look down, when you go outside the box and look down, when you go outside the box, when you're able to look down on this reality, when you're able to see it, like the person in the airplane, where everything is happening all at once, then you have a different perspective. So time simply does not exist, but it does for the guy on the ground, but it doesn't for him up here. So it's all about perspective, it's all about understanding, it's all about awareness, it's all about what you know, you experience, and the things you've gone through in life. And for human beings, this concept of time is simply just mind-boggling, and it's a very, 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 very difficult concept to understand. Because you're down here. If you're on top of the mountain, in the airplane, you see everything all at once. But on the ground, just one moment after another. If you are inside the movie and you're on this frame, then that's the reality you know. And you go from one moment to the next, to the next, to the next, to the next. But in reality, this reality is happening all at once. In this reality, everything's happening all at once. In this reality, everything's happening at once. In this reality, everything is happening at once. It all exists simultaneously. And they're all connected, and they're all intertwined, and they're all connected. Depending where you are in reality and how you experience reality and what your perception is, is how you experience moments. So, I don't think I did a very good job, but hopefully, this gives a little bit more of an insight, and hopefully you grab onto some of these concepts, and hopefully it helps. Peace and good night.